Welcome to the fastest stop in town. Today, Masechtas Bava Daf Kuf. We're going to begin on Kuf Amud Aleph, the third line from the top. Rish Lakish Achvile Dinara Rebbe Lazar. So Rish Lakish showed some coins to Rebbe Lazar. Amr Malihu, he said that these are good coins. They're acceptable. They are coins that can be used. So Amalei Chazi, you should see Da'aloch Kasamchina, that upon you I am relying. I completely trust you. Amalei, he said, Ki Samcha Salai Malamemra. The fact that you want to rely on me, why are you saying that? Di Mishtakoch Bisha, that if you find among them a disqualified coin, that be'in lechufiloch, that I need to exchange it for you. V'ha'atu di amrit, you're the one that said the Rameir who dain din de garmi. The Rameir is dain din de garmi. My love, Rameir v'loy svirlon kavase. It must be that we don't hold like him. That we're not dain din de garmi, and therefore for that reason, if it turns out that there is a coin that's not acceptable, I shouldn't have to reimburse you. Amalei lo Rameir usvirlon kavase. No, I'm saying it's like Rav Meir, and we do hold like Rav Meir, and therefore because of that, I am done. We are done din garmi. If we're going to Taisus, don't get nervous, not the whole one. But achvi din Rebbe Lazar akati havitzarich lemigmor. So we learned before that some of them are deloit tzrich lemigmor, that they're specified coin experts that don't need even to study the coin. So he's not on that level. Because we said someone like that is not mechuyev. So basically, Tosus is saying that he wasn't on that level of expertise. So, hey Reb Meir, who is this Shita Reb Meir that we see that he's done din garmi and we pass like him? Elam Reb Meir, Dal Lam and Mem Pei Simon. Dinan. Done as a din, that's the Dalit. Zich as a chayev. So if you judge and you end up saying that the person who is guilty is innocent, chayev as a zakai, timas a tahar, tiras a tameh, you end up saying what is pure is impure, vice versa. Mashasa asoi. What you did, you did. In other words, it's a psak. However, yishal mebesai, the judge must reimburse that person from himself. So ha'itmar law, Rabbi law, Rav, vusha not. So therefore, maybe it's because we done din the garmi. This is so ha'itmar law, Rabbi law, Rabbi husha not l'manasnim biyad. There's talking about where the judge mamish took it with his hands. It was biyadayim. It wasn't some being garmi. So what is that? So we need this Rashi. So Rashi says as follows: how did he make someone who is chayev zoiche, that he had a collateral that was in the hands of the lender. He took the mashkin and he gave it to the loiva. So it belonged to this was the mashkin's loiva. He gave it over to the malva as a safekeeping, and then the judge actually gave the mashkin, and maybe he shouldn't have. Notel biad mamoin min hanitva b'shil matoiveya. So he ended up b'machayev zakai, the person who should have won. He took the money out of his hands and he gave it to the wrong guy. V'tima es atahar notel sheretz b'yadayim. He took an actual sheretz in his hands. V'zarku alei latamai vaday l'haksik devarav. In order to show that he was 100% right that this is tamei, so therefore he actually took a sheretz, even though it was really tahar. V'tiras tamei. Therefore he was a matar that was just tamei. V'natal hadayin lepedas tamein, and he took impure fruits. Ve'ervan im shar peris, and he mixed it with other fruits. Ha'ish hasha'al v'havi le'oisa ma'isa b'yadayim umazik. This is considered to be a ma'asa b'yadayim. Question 10. So I wrote Rashi only. So zichas achayev shahaylo mashchem and natum menachasir loiva. he gave the mashkin to the borrower. Tiras atamish natal haperos, he took the fruits, v'arban im shar peros, and he mixed it together with other fruits. Ha'ish hashoalo, the person asked him the question. Okay, so therefore that's not the Rameir we want. Eloha Rameir ditnan. What's boiloi adaim? What's of a shach? Shach what's of adam? We have this so many times already that he dyed it. He wanted it red, and it became black, red. Rameir. So Rameir oimer noislo demeit samrai. So over here, you still have to pay the value of the wool. You pay back the value of the wool. Hasam called oven be a dime. Again, it was be a dime. The person who leans over his grapevines, over his tavua, shalchaver of his friend, harazek kidesh, says Rashi, also satavua, because of kilayim, he caused a forbidden mixture in doing so, the chayiv, and therefore in this situation he is chayiv. Hasam nami covered be a dime. So the question is like, what's the havi mean? It's obvious, right? So El Harameir, the Stein Mechitzas Akarem, says Rashi. So Mechitzas Akarem, the wall of vineyard, Kaimulon Haye Gader Ben Taim, Zeh Saimech Zerayim Gader Mikan, Zeh Saimech Gafanim Gader Mikan. So they had this wall, and there was seeds on one side, and there was grapevines on the other side. So, but he had a wall. So Mechitzas Akarem Shenifritza, but the problem is what happens if that wall falls down, and on both sides, now it becomes an issue potential of Kilayim as we continue to Kufam Bebeis. Armilo Gador, he said, fix the fence, basically. Nifritza fell down, Armilo Gador. Nisyayish Mimenu Gador. Eventually he just says, forget it, and he doesn't build it, says Rashi, Ubetoich Kach, Haitzi Hazera. So all of a sudden, the zera, it ends up spreading and becomes an isser of 1 to 200 ratio. Harazek kinesh, says Rashi. The in batal el be'echad masayim. It's only batal with 1 to 200. The kan yesh kuft sadites min heter v'chad be'isser. There was 199 v'chad be'acharusoi, and he's chayiv for doing so. So therefore, we see that even though you didn't really do it, but it's a garmi, nonetheless we say that you're chayiv. Okay, now let's see this Mishnah, which I think we've seen before. It says Masnisan, Hanaisan semot sabam, you gave wool to a dyer, v'hiktichoi yoira, and the pot burnt the wool. Naislo demeit samrai. So the person who did this has to pay back the value of the wool to the owner of the wool. Savu ka'ur, let's say he dyed it and left over the dye. So first let's look at Rashi. Nasal demeit samro v'achal veka shvach klal. Again, there's a question: is there shvach? So is there umin kadam shvach kli? Here there's no shvach. The ha nisraf lagamru is completely destroyed. V'leika memer im hashbach yoser. So sava ka'ur. So it says Rashi b'shi'aret seva that you dyed it with leftover dye. Umazik b'kavanahu. So if you use like inferior leftover dyes, so if the improvements is more than the cost for the work for his expenses, then then you give the smaller amount to the worker. However, if the expenditures, his cost is more than the shvach, so then you don't have to pay for the shvach. And again, this is Yado al Tachtoina because he ended up using this leftover dye. And now we have the Mishnah that is so familiar. So he ended up dyeing the different colors. So all he has to do is give the value of the wool, not any improvements. And Rashi says, because kan b'shinoi, that's it, but not the shvachoi, not the improvements, not the shvach. Rabbi Yehuda Aimer im hashvach yasol yitzia noising yitzia im yitzia yisrael shvach noising yitzia es hashavach. So So it's the same thing as we said before. If the improvements is more, so then you should give the lower amount. If the etzia is more, if the expenditures are more, then you should give the lower amount. So therefore, and he basically he will he has to return the wool to the owner. So Rabbi Yehuda says the kanisle lahai deshina liyos yadu al tachtoina. So he kanas him, and therefore because of that we say again also by him is yadu al tachtoina. So it is shaykh that he really technically may be kaina, but because as al kanas we say no. Says the Gemara, my ka'ur. Would you say if he died at ka'ur, so then yadu al tachtoina? So Rabbi Nachman Bar Chana kalbus. Okay, that's great, kalbus. My kalbus. What does that mean? So Amar Rabbi Bar Shmuel, as we continue to cook Aleph Amud Aleph, it's kafra dudei. It's like the cleaning out of a vat, which I mean basically, as Rashi says, kalim shiorit seva. All the leftover dye, shenishtayiru b'yoyra, all of that leftover dye. So it's obviously quite inferior dye, and therefore the fact you use that, yadu al tachtoina, so you end up having the lower hand. Okay, so it's a short daf, but we'll still stop here. Let's see. So we saw question 10. That was it for there. TA 28. Okay, which may be the exact same questions we had. So let's see on daf kuf. Danas adin, tiras atame, timratar, tananis. So we said it's noisim biyad. Heichem mishkachas nasam v'nasim biyad. Timas atav tiras atame. So again, when it had to do with putting, touching it with a sheretz to just demonstrate it's definitely a tame, even though really it was tahar. That was one answer. Okay. It says timas atahar shanatul sheretz biadayim v'timas aperos v'tiras atame she'irvin im peros acherim shel oisa ish. So you end up mixing up the fruits, even though it was tummy fruits, but because it was mixed, so then it ends up being acceptable. Okay. Question TB. Let's see. TB 29 possibly. Machitza sakarem. Shenifritza, the walls fell down. Almi mutul hachiv ligdor. Who has the obligation to rebuild this? And then it says, Muma hashir shetaisiv hatvua v'te'aser. Okay, so let's see. Mechitza sakarem. So this is at the very end of Kuf Amud Aleph. So this is TB 29. And then it extends up here. So this is what I wrote. Echad min Masayim, which seems to be a pretty safe answer. The sashman of Gadra harizek kiddush v'chayabach usay. Okay, so TB 29. 1/200. Anachnu loimdim shehutzarach ligdor ve'im lo asa seh anachnu danen dinah der garmi v'chayiv. Okay. Not sure if I really answered it so much. Rashi says that the Shlo Yosef HaTfua, that basically the one who has the Tfua is what we're talking about. Okay. Rabbi Gibber. Let's see if we have any questions here. Me'efo mevia Gemara Raya Maskana the Rameir Dain Din the Garmi. Two neighbors have a field next to each other. In order not to mix, the Kilayim, the owner of the grapevines, should build a fence. If it falls down and he gave up fixing it, the fruits are Kodesh, Aser, and he's Chayiv. I think we're going to see that in tomorrow's daf. Adkan.